Guys, you were at practice last week, and Jimmy Haslam did his annual training camp press conference. He was asked about a number of topics. Two things he said stood out. We're going to dissect each one of those individually.
By the way, it was Jimmy and son-in-law.
JW is also there, yes.
Not Jimmy and D.
Yes, Jimmy and JW, not.
Yeah. Although
Jimmy
apparently G and I were hanging out right next to D, and we didn't even realize it.
Yeah, we did. And then it was funny.
Somebody told me that was.
Yeah. I was like, hey, was that D Haslam back
there?
And they were like, yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm glad me and Bull didn't say nothing stupid.
Yeah.
So the first thing that Jimmy Haslam said that we're going to discuss, he was asked about the future of the team, the promise, and this was his answer on how the new stadium will impact their immediate quality of team, for lack of a better word. Jimmy said, quote, "We want to be a contending playoff team in 2027. That doesn't mean we can't make it in 26, but the new stadium does not play into that."
So he was asked specifically about the narrative that, fans think and a lot of media thinks you don't really care if you win before 29. That it's all you want to set up to win once you go in the Dome. And they both disputed that, obviously, that's the case. And I don't think it's the case that they don't care about the next 3 years. I don't really actually buy that. But it was very telling that he said, we expect to contend in 2027. And right after that, JW was like, well, we think we can contend maybe, whatever. I don't know exactly how he put it. In fact, they did say specifically, they must have been listening to G. Bush because they said, we're not punting on 2026. That being said, on some level, they're punting on 2026 because if you're the owner of the team and you say we expect to contend in 2027, you didn't say that by mistake. You're acknowledging that while you would like, in theory, to contend in 2026, you don't think it's realistic.
It's going to be a challenge for this season. I mean, you don't have a quarterback set in stone.
Yeah.
It's a new head coach, new defensive coordinator. Like you're going through a transition phase.
Traded your best defensive player.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, they're not locked in for this year. I mean, the expectations from fans and probably from inside that building are for them to be in a rebuilding year. You know, as they're trying to kind of recoup draft picks and the salaries from Deshaun Watson as this thing kind of comes to an end here. Yeah, it's realistically they're not going to win many games this year. I thought it was fascinating. He referenced the win total,
which we're coming up.
I know. We'll talk about that too. But come on, they're not winning anything this year.
I think one thing that he, and I've kind of said this along the way, I always go back to, when Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb and they had Myles Garrett, these young players, Denzel Ward, a part of that young crew, they had come off 1-31, and when Baker Mayfield comes out against the Jets and they win that game against Sam Darnold, you're like, oh man, like, it transformed your thinking. Nobody during that season thought like, oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl after that. But the thing was, they were competitive and they were fun to watch. I think one of the biggest things that he talked about was, listen, we just don't want to play crappy football. We want to play an exciting brand of football where we're competitive. We turning the ball over, and it's just easier to watch because the thing that you look at with young players is you can have a lot of capital built up and goodwill built up if your young players do three things. They are intelligent, smart, they stay out of trouble. They're fun to watch and score some touchdowns, and they play hard. If you can get three of those things, the fan base will understand, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, we just had two good classes in a row, but if your young guys are doing something, you can roll with that. I also think when he talks about the win-loss total, I go back and watch what Jared Verse said. And Jared Verse, he had me ready to go play. He said, I know what y'all think. He's like, but we ain't letting it happen. We are here to play. We don't care nothing about no draft picks. We don't care nothing about that. And I like the fact that he grabbed onto the rope and kept pulling. And Jimmy Haslam and D Haslam, they said, okay, one thing I was intrigued by was we didn't think Delpit was going to be back. They brought him back. We didn't think Denzel Ward was going to be back because they thought Myles Garrett. I like the fact that they did bring those guys back and bolster because I could see where people say, oh, y'all punting if y'all get rid of Denzel Ward.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, no team, the players and the coaches obviously never want to lose.
Right.
When we talk about a team tanking or whatever, I don't think the Browns clearly the Browns are talent-wise, young talent-wise, like they're on the upswing. I think most people would agree with what you said, Dustin, that they're not ready to win just yet, unless Shedeur Sanders takes a massive leap from where he was and they were last year. If that doesn't happen, they're not going to win significantly more games. It's just impossible.
And here's the thing, too, and I said this during the break. The one big thing that I watched and going out in practice, the biggest thing in my mind is they are so thin at certain positions.
Yeah.
In the secondary and at linebacker, they don't have a guy on the roster who's played meaningful snaps.
Yeah.
It's
beyond the start.
Beyond the start. If you get one hamstring, one pull, one concussion, they are extremely thin. And I think health is going to play a major role in that, especially the guys up front. We saw what happened last year with the guys up front.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, from DeJuan Jones to Elton Jenkins, those guys had energy. Malik Collins is a guy who's on the PUP list. We're looking for Mike Hall Jr. to come back and give us something. So injuries aside, the Browns are really thin at a lot of positions, and that's going to play a role in how competitive they are as well.
You guys both briefly alluded to Jimmy talking about over-unders. Governors don't usually do, but it's exactly what happened. He was asked about – he actually wasn't specifically asked about the over-under.
He brought it up himself.
He brought it up himself. He said, I think the odds for us are to win 5.5 games. I'd take the over. By the way, what's the owner going to say? He's going to say, I'm going to take the under?
No, we'll take the under.
Man, I ain't taking no 5. That means you getting what, 5? Nah,
no, you're getting 6.
So that means if he take the under.
Yeah. They think you're going to win 5
less
or
than
less.
5.
Yeah.
5 or less.
Nah, I got to have more than 5. I got to.
I got the Brown. I mean, I think that's right. The number. I think they'll win.
It's the right number.
They're going to win somewhere between 4 to 6 games. I mean, they're somewhere in that range, in my opinion. So I'll split the difference.
They're going to have to
5.
beat somebody they're not supposed to.
Yeah. But they might, I was going to say they might also lose to somebody they're not supposed to, but I don't know if there is such a thing.
The recipe for it is this. When the league happens, there's always 2 or 3 games during the year you win a game that you ain't got no business winning. Last year, there was the Green Bay Packers game. I don't know what Jordan Love was doing throwing the football. That game was done. But there's 2 or 3 games where you should have won it, but you found a way to lose it. Think about this. Against the Bengals, Flacco puts the ball on Jerry Jeudy, right in his hands on a 4th down. He drops it. Schmidt misses 2 kicks.
Yeah.
And the Bengals come out with a win. Here's the thing. I think if you can find on the margins better special teams plays, you can find on the margins making different plays and not being penalized, which, by the way, in practice has not gone well.
It's been ugly. The pre-snap penalties.
The pre-snap stuff.
That's crazy.
This is undisciplined.
That will get you 5. If they do that, I ain't gonna. That's 5 all day. So that's why Todd Monken is going crazy about it. But I can see if everything bounces the right way, I can see them get 7, 8 games. I can see that.
The only way they could win 7 or 8 games to me is if
Shedeur's got to play out of his mind.
Significantly better.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying he's got to be a superstar. I'm just saying he's got to be significantly better than he was and they as an offense were.
About 3 times better than last year.
Yeah, he's got to be a lot better. If he plays the similar level, and again, it was only 7 games, and I'll admit it would have been hard for most quarterbacks to have success with what they were doing and what talent they had. That being said, if he plays at a similar level to last year, they're not going to win a lot of games.
I will say this. I think the reason he can play better, and I think so far in camp he's shown that he is way more. He has a better timing of where he wants to go with it. If you watch him, he looks like he's more comfortable in knowing where I need to go with it. He's more comfortable in communicating with the receivers. And I got to give credit to it's not that. They have upgraded the skill positions. I'm gonna tell you about
definitely.
I'm gonna tell you about Denzel Boston. I was on with Earl on 92.3 The Fan, and I said I would not be surprised that Denzel Boston is the number 1 receiver for the Cleveland Browns halfway through the season.
Why you say that?
Because when you watch him out at practice, he's in and out of his breaks, and he's where he's supposed to be. And when it comes to the 50-50 balls, and when it comes to going to get the ball, he's going to get the ball from Dylan Gabriel. He's going to get the ball from Deshaun Watson. He's going to get the ball from Shedeur Sanders. I have not seen in those 2 days, there wasn't a ball that hit the ground. Contested catches, he was there. He's been physical. And I think that I'm more impressed with, as you watch the 7-on-7, they're moving him around. So, Dustin, as a receiver, they're not just keeping him on the outside. They got him in the slot moving around. And I thought as a receiver, that's kind of difficult to do if you learn in both the X and Y in the position. I think he's shown the fact that he can move around a little bit, and he's a hands catcher. Everything is this. So I just like the fact of what he's doing. And he's, to me, looked like one of the best receiver at camp, even though you got Jerry Jeudy and different guys. Now, you got to watch it.
Jerry Jeudy. I like the young guys. I mean,
I'm all about the young guys.
I'm all about Boston, Concepcion, Fannin, and I forgot the kid from last year.
Bond,
yeah, couldn't think of his name. Yeah. I'm all about those guys. I'm ready to move on from Jerry Jeudy. I don't think they're going to, but I think, the idea of a young quarterback and a young wide receiver / tight end group and running back who's young too is that's what gets you a little excited.
That's it.
So there's potential there. That being said, it's hard, and you know this. I mean, it's hard to know watching if there's progress from the offense when there's no pads and no threat of getting hit. It's hard.
That's why today,
But the quarterback's still not going to get hit. I want to see, and even though it's preseason, certainly not the same as regular season, I'll be much more curious to see what Watson and Sanders look like
12 days.
in the preseason.
12 days against the Bears.
This is why I got so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I have been saying all year, listen, I know it's short, but these preseason games is going to be money because Todd Monken's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm installing, but I need to see what it looked like when Deshaun Watson ain't played in 3 years, Dustin. Like 3 years. So it's almost like I need to see what it looked like when he actually got to move and slide and keep his eyes downfield. Shedeur Sanders, we talk about the pocket presence. Yeah, I can say the pocket presence is increased and looks great right now. But what's more impressive, he can do that against another team and see it and say, wow, okay, that was a nice drive. That was a nice 2 drives.
We got one more quote from Jimmy, don't we?
No, we did them both.
See how we
I don't know why I thought we had 3 quotes.
And you weaved in the second one into the first one flawlessly. You did a great job.
Right. And listen, somebody's like, hey, what's JW, the hand of the king? He up there now. You might as well get ready. He the hand of the king right now.
Son-in-law takeover.
Hey, listen, he up there now. He talking.
There was one time he kind of cut Jimmy off, and I was like,
I got it. Don't even worry about that.
What's going on here?
But you know what's funny though? I will say this. The question that he did answer and ask, he was like, I don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback. Somebody might play great and be the quarterback forever.
Yeah.